GTI, not cabriolet, hardtop, and what a car it is. Fully restored, this thing is. Beautiful colour. This is an original GTI Engineering car. That is like rocking horse doo-doo. Not only that, the guy who currently owns it now, he remembers when his mother bought it from GTI Engineering when he was a 10-year-old boy. That's cool. So the engine in this car is not standard. This has got a BRM152. You guessed it, 152 brake. You do not need much more than that in a Mk1 Golf GTI to put a massive smile on your face. I haven't even driven this fast yet, just normal driving. As soon as you put your foot down, it picks up. Feel it and hear it. No mod cons. You can feel what the wheels are doing. You can feel what everything's doing. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so this has got a BRM152 engine. Now, BRM, who's that? Now, some of the people watching the video might know that, and will maybe know when I mention Brian Ricketts Motorsport. Now, Brian Ricketts Motorsport was, back in the day, you had GTI Engineering. Good bunch of guys, maybe a woman, don't know. Tuning up the icons, the 80s. Now, Brian was part of that team. He left them and set up BRMotorsport, and he was known to be being called a professor, knowing exactly what needs to be done to make one of these shift. This engine's just running, I can feel it, it is perfect. So what is the engine? It's a 1984cc, crank, rods, pistons, all been done, ported polished head, cam, the lot. It's a monster, it absolutely flies along. So what are we doing with this then? Well, it's terrible on fuel. They're not the best anyway, but they can be made to be a lot better. So we are going to do a simple CO test on it to see where our CO2 percentage is. This being an old car, we've got a 3.5% limit. We don't want it anywhere near that, not for normal driving around. You want it really about 1.5 to 2, depending on how the engine takes it. That's a good level, that should give you a good miles per gallon. So we're going to do that. It's also got a problem with the 16 valve warmer regulator. Yes, this is an 8 valve with a 16 valve warmer regulator. Again, it's what they did back in the day. You put a 16 valve warmer regulator on it, it lowers that control pressure, allows a fuel plunger to raise at a quicker rate, allowing more fuel. And again, when the engine's flat out, that air that's coming in is pushing the fuel plunger up, giving that bit more fuel. Diaphragm's not working, so it's not doing its job. So we're going to sort that, sort the rough idling out. Doesn't idle very well, goes well, but it doesn't idle well. But again, we want to get these cars started and go. Cold start problem again, that'll be the warm-up regulator, we'll sort that. And then a service. And check out the rear brakes, because they're a bit sketchy when you get on the anchors. But yeah, absolutely fantastic car this is. So beautiful. First time when I've driven a GTI Mk1, I love it. Don't tell my Mk2 though, because I want to drive that later. Don't want it conking out. So I'll see you in the morning when we have got our CO meter on it, seeing what it's at. Catch you in a bit. Right, there's a power to weight ratio difference in these cars, I'll grant you. My Mk2's got 188 brake. This in the ballpark of 150, 160. This is quick. Very quick. Haha, love it. You know when they say drive a car like a go-kart? One of these. Mk1 Golf GTI. Obviously you need quite big pockets to get one of these nowadays. This is probably north of 30 grand I would have thought to buy it, auction, that sort of stuff. Beautiful car. Anyway, I'm jabbering again, see you in a minute. So the warm-up regulator is done. Now we took it apart, changed the diaphragm, all back together. We've checked the fuel pressure, system pressure, residual and control pressure. They all sit in lovely, so that is one job did. So CO2 meter is up, set up, calibrated to 2% with the pipe in the exhaust and the engine off. So that's how we want to start. So that's calibrated. Now, if you're doing this, make sure the pipe is off the airbox, because you don't want the air going through the CO meter to be breathing in the oil from the crankcase breather. So stick that out of the way. Now the engine's running up. We're looking for a sort of 1.5 to 2%. This is 1.3. It does pop up a little bit and then drops down to 1.2. Ideally you want to sit it for about 2 minutes at whatever percentage it is. Again, this drops to sort of 1.2, 1.1 and holds that for about a minute or so, so it's a bit too low. So how do you adjust that, you may ask? Well, with a 3mm long Allen key in a metering head. Clockwise, more fuel, anti-clockwise, less fuel. Now this is settling down to about 1.8%, so we're happy with that. Any more, the engine doesn't like it. Any less, the engine doesn't like it. So each engine has their own sort of ballpark figure. Like this is 1.8, sitting there nicely, so we're happy with that. So we're happy with that, and now it is idling a little bit too high. So all we need to do now is just adjust the idle screw and the back a touch, let it settle down, and just check the CO as well. While we're doing that, we need to check the ignition timing. And this is slightly awkward on the Mark 1 because it's hiding right down in there. So again, this has got a vacuum advance. Unplug the vacuum, plug it in, plug the whole of it in, and then get your timing gun down there and adjust where you need it. This is pretty much bang on factory, so we'll just double check where it's at and then we can move on. So we're at a good point now. Like I said, the 16 valve water regulator is repaired. We've checked and adjusted the CO2. We've adjusted the idle so it sits good as it's going to sit. Check the ignition timing. Now it's not going to have a perfect idle because remember, this is a race engine. So the cam in there is a 276 degree cam. That is a high lift cam. So to get a nice idle, you're going to struggle, especially with KJet, but this is probably as good as idle you're going to get. So most of it's all done. Did have a cold start problem, which was over there. Now this is the 5th injector or cold start valve. That plug wasn't on, it had slipped off. There's a little metal clip that sits around which helps it click on. That was rotten, so we depinned it and put a Mark II plug on there with a new clip, so that's sorted. And here is the diaphragm that's split in the back of the water regulator. Not very good. So we've done our bits of work we need to do. We're out testing the car. Now, as I've been harping on about the BRMotorsport engine, I'll show you the difference with the following two clips. The difference between a stock 1.8 Mk1 Golf GTI, which I've driven, so that's about what, 115 brake, about that sort of stock power, versus what this does. Questions, stick in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for watching.